This segment is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's introduce our guest to you tonight. I don't know if I did it all just right, but we got Mark Travis Guide Service, Crappie Guide Extraordinaire. Man, you got, let's tell them, Percy Priest, Old Hickory, Woods Reservoir, Normandy.
Yeah, and mainly I concentrate on Percy Priest and Normandy in the fall.
Okay.
That's what we're doing this year.
That'll be awesome. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we got Jeff Head over there. Jeff is with the Almena Shrine Temple, the past potentate, and we're talking about the big Johnny Dudley Memorial Tournament for that too. And you got.
Just going to remind everybody we have our phone lines open if they want to call in.
I'm glad you did.
They can. Figured somebody might. Yeah, I mean it's up on the screen, you know.
Yeah, we got it down there.
It's down there.
It's down there.
Just know it's there, right?
Most of you don't like to be told what to do every time.
Give us a call. Let's talk about it.
I can't help it.
Yeah, let's talk about it for a minute.
But you know, you get excited about somebody that comes on, and you know, I have to tell y'all, and this is, I'm not just saying this, but every time I'm out at Fate Sanders or around where Mark is, all of his people getting off the boat have these big, huge smiles on their face. They've had a good time. Yeah. I have never known anybody not to have a great time with Mark, and Mark's not going to leave you hanging. I promise you. He's going to let you know how to do it, what you need to be doing. The first time we went to him, he had 8 poles out here, and he'd go 1, 3, and I'm like, what are you numbered? He's talking about 1 pole, grab it, 3 pole, grab it. And it was a lot of fun, and we made jokes about that for years. But Mark, you've done so much more now. You're telling the guys, hey, now with this Garmin, you can tell them that watch those last 2. It's going to be over there where those last 2 are. Yeah. And then the customer can sit there and focus on those 2. And if one just barely moves, he's got him.
Hit him. And don't hesitate. On my boat, a lot of people will look at a float and think maybe that's a bite. That's a bad word. Don't think maybe. If he's not there, it's just a bait check.
It's just a bait check.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Because when they moved, like today, start off this morning, they were hitting lightning fast. If you hesitated, I have what I call my 3 millisecond rule. If it's on there and you're not getting ready to grab for it, I'm picking it up and I'm going to hand it to you. Because there's days when that fuse on that crappie's attention to that bait is very fast.
Yeah.
And if you don't pick it up, it's just one that you're not going to have on your stringer. So mine's a game of speed, not of power.
Not of power. That's right.
My rods are long. I run 12s and 14 footers. And what people don't realize, that's a long lever. And a lot of people want to hit them, buggy whip and all that. All you're doing, my hooks are needle sharp. You're just cutting that hook out of that fish. Just come up nice and smooth. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
And just keep steady pressure. More crappie get off, because if somebody will dip that rod just a little bit, or that fish will swim up, jump up. Those blacknose love to jump tail off. And so if you let him get slack, he is gone. And there's nothing
like the first time I went out with the 2, look at his reel. Show him your reel right
there.
He's got one of those fancy triggers.
That's a Zepco 33 Gold.
Pole up, and I hit that trigger.
That's right.
And I did it twice, and he goes, you know what, if you quit hitting that trigger, you might catch one.
You might catch a fish.
Well, that trigger, we call that adrenaline trigger.
Yeah.
And everybody does it. And I tell you, just go ahead and do it and get it out of the way.
Get it out of your system.
Because most people say, oh no, I won't do that.
Yeah, you will.
But you will. Because when you see that float go down 3 feet or it's gone and you don't see it, your initial reaction is you're going to grab it here and you're ready to reel.
Yeah.
That's just what happens.
It is.
But most of the time, if you'll grab it, we have it sitting in a rod holder. And most of the time your rod holder, fork here. If you'll grab it between there, pick it up, you got it.
You got it.
I mean, it's very simple.
Now, we've talked about the float system and all that you have, but what I want to explain to people is what they were seeing on video. They were actually watching our weights and everything coming into that brush pile, and actually our line.
You're seeing, here's actually what you're seeing. On the line, on my main line is a number 7 snap swivel.
Yeah.
Then below that is the rig, which this is one of the rigs, pre-made, ready to go. Okay, then on top of that rig you have a swivel, number 8. Then your line is 8-pound test line, whereas the main line is 10 pound. Now also that's an 1.5 ounce weight. You'll see that weight on that rig. That's the thing on the bottom that you're looking at most of the time. Then you also, this is a number 1 to number 2 mustad, and it's a needle sharp little hook. On there's a size 0
right there.
Sure.
That is a blue mustad hook. Now I want everybody to know you can't find that just at every little tackle store you want to go to because they don't have them. You got to ask for them. I have found out. I call mustad and order mine now because nobody's got them.
Yeah, I get mine from a place called Shorty's Hooks.
Shorty's Hooks.
Being in the guide business, I buy them thousands at a time. All these rigs you see, I have thousands of those pre-tied and ready to go.
And coffee cans full of them.
Oh yeah, we got the little shoe boxes and name it. And because today we probably went through 35 rigs.
Yeah.
And this rig hangs nice and straight. The one thing about mono, this is a Bass Pro mono, and the reason I like it's got a nice coating, especially on this. You'll see the little bobber stop to adjust the depth. You can fish this thing 100 feet deep if you wanted to. You can fish whatever depth you want to. But the key is on that live scope, it's showing you this snap swivel is the first thing you see bouncing. Then you'll see the blade, and then on the line you see that size 0 blade in the hook. A lot of times it has a little of a shimmer or just a glow to it down there. And so most of the time the Tuffy minnows, which is I mainly use, he's trying to go into that cover. He's like, I want to go down in there, that's safe. Well, on that live scope, you saw those fish come right up at an angle. When you're bait and everything's right, they'll come up at an angle and hit that minnow, boom, right there. You'll see it happen. It's live now. You'll see them hit that, and then you'll see the float go down. It's about, this morning they were doing it. We'd sit there, I said, somebody's getting ready to get a bite. Boom, it was hitting number 3 or it hit number 6 a lot of times. So you actually see that fish hit it.
Before it ever goes
Yeah,
down.
and a lot of times, you go up to a brush pile like we did, we marked 2 spots.
That's right.
The first spot, it looked okay, but it wasn't really glowing like that second spot. I said, Hugh, which one do you want to fish? He said, I want to fish that second one. It looks like it's loaded. And we sit there and counted those fish.
That's right.
Before we ever started catching them. And those first 3 fish were over 14-inch crappie.
That's right.
Right out there, they were pre-staged, looking toward the shallows.
They were.
And that's just what happens that time of year. Now, we could have done the same pattern even out in the channel. Because
On post-spawn.
pre-spawn.
Oh, pre-spawn.
Because
Yeah,
this
you're
year with
right,
all
right,
the
right,
cold
right.
weather, those fish didn't all just run up there. Everybody was looking for them shallow. But with that cold temperature, because a big female crappie is a temperature gauge.
Yeah.
She's not going to come up shallow, and not all of them do. What people don't realize is there are a lot of fish that will spawn in deep water.
Oh yeah.
And I call them treed crappie.
Yeah.
And there's a few places that, and you can look at some of the pictures on Facebook. And we would actually catch the males on bed in trees in deep water. They were down maybe 18 feet. The females that were with them, the eggs were coming out of them, as you've seen before. There was feel on that thing.
That's right.
And so everybody gets hooked up as, I got to go shallow to catch these crappie. The real deal is, if you want to catch the big crappie, don't chase everybody to the bank.
No.
That's my tip.
Okay. Well, we got to hold on.
Sure.
We got to. Richard, how can we help you?
Yes, I was just wanting to know about that deep crappie fishing. About how deep do you start looking for them at?
Well, now your deep crappie fishing a lot of times is mainly a wintertime deal. So what you want to do, I start off looking at the tops of the trees in the area. Let's say the trees are at 20 feet deep, but you might be in 50 feet of water. The depth of the water doesn't matter. It matters how tall that tree is, and you want to set your baits close to the top of that tree.
That's right.
And some days you're going to have to hang it. If they're pulling current a lot of times, those crappie out in deep water will line up behind those big branches, and you'll see them just clustered around the wood that's in that all that standing timber. Because it's loaded.
That creates a current break for them, so they sit right there almost motionless.
Yes.
And wait for something to attack, but you got to get that bait down there to them.
That's right. And the key to that too is a lot of times we're using 11, 12, 14 foot poles.
Yeah.
So we use this pole also as a depth guide to get it down. And so there's just little tips and tricks, that we use to make it easy.
Yeah.
And with that live scope, there's no more guessing. Well, I think I've got it down 20 feet.
You know.
Yeah.
You know exactly.
You know exactly where the
how
bait
deep
is.
that
That's
thing
right.
is. And so, and also another great little thing, you pull up on a brush pile or something like we've been doing. We're fishing more of a summertime pattern, sort of transition into summer. You pull on a brush pile and you don't see a crappie in it, just move.
Move.
There's no reason to stay there. If they're there, you will see them. A lot of times this time of year, what happens is we get the one and done. You pull up to a brush pile, you'll catch between 1 and 5 fish, and they're gone. They just stop.
We hope that helps you though, Richard.
And but what's a real good depth finder?
I love the Garmin Live Scope.
That Garmin Live Scope is the best one I know.
Oh
right
man,
now.
It's what now?
Garmin Live Scope.
the Live Scope is a transducer.
Yeah, Bass Pro Shops carries.
They carry it.
Yeah, they do. They
Yes,
carry
sir.
it.
And you can get a 9-inch.
They run at a range. What do they run about?
Well, the depth finder itself will run near $1,000, $900,000, depending where you buy it. Now, the Garmin Live Scope, that what you see on that
That's from the transducer.
that is from a special transducer, and that thing runs anywhere from $1,400 to $1,500 right now. Hopefully,
So you
the
got
price.
$2,500 in that rig.
Yeah, contacts. Oh, yeah, you can get some money in that. But the deal is, I don't even have my regular transducer hooked up, the down imaging, side imaging. I don't even care to have it anymore. You don't need it. Okay? Everybody's hooked on down imaging, side imaging, 2D sonar. I haven't had it on my boat in over 2 months. There's no reason anymore.
All right. Richard, we hope that helps you. We got to go, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
All right, we got this tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being brought to you by Phoenix Custom Quality Rods. Check them out at phoenixrods.com. And like I said, Paravel and Cubalin both are getting their inventory in as we speak. And you will love them. Hey, this week's tip, I'm going to get Mark to help me out now. Now, Mark, you almost gave it away a few minutes ago. There is a difference when you're crappie fishing between a Tuffy minnow and a shiner. Tell us why you like Tuffies and why you don't like shiners so much.
Okay, a Tuffy minnow, if you saw in the video, that little bait at the bottom kept on diving down toward that cover. A Tuffy minnow, his nature is to go to the wood.
That's right.
A shiner's nature is more like a shad. It sees the wood, it's like, I'm out of here. We're gone.
So they go away from it.
Yes.
And that Tuffy's actually working for
He
you.
wants to go in. That's where he feels comfortable.
That's where he's
And
working.
so most of my fishing is done with Tuffy minnows.
There's a difference between committed and dedicated.
That's right.
Hey, we appreciate it. We'll be right back with a recipe of the week now coming up from Miss Deborah Flyer. So hurry back for more. So we'll just watch.